Across the state received their first doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine within the last 24 hours.
News 8's Sarah Hignite reports from one central Indiana hospital as they administered their first round of doses.
It's a historic day here at St. Francis Hospital. It's the first day that they're able to administer the COVID-19 vaccine. Healthcare workers who got their vaccine here today say it's a day they'll never forget.
It's overwhelming. It's exciting. It warms my heart to know that we're fighting this as a team.
Physicians, nurses, and pharmacists sat one by one today at Franciscan Health to get their COVID-19 vaccine.
It just feels like all of our hard work that we've put in all year, it's finally paying off. We're so close to getting through this, to getting back to our normal lives with our families, and I just couldn't be happier.
Dr. Christopher Doring says the Franciscan Health received their shipment as expected on Thursday to be able to prepare to start administering vaccines on Friday.
We got 195 vials, which turns out is going to be just shy of 1,200 doses. So actually about 20% more doses in the vials than what we were expecting.
Doring says that they have a full schedule vaccinating for 12 hours a day for the next 2 weeks with frontline healthcare workers as top priority.
We're expecting weekly deliveries, so sometime early next week we should be getting an additional shipment, and we're actually expecting it to be about double the first shipment that we received.
Patients at long-term care facilities are also part of the first tier to receive vaccines. Doring says that they will get the Moderna vaccine if approved, which is just as effective, and it will be administered through CVS and Walgreens as early as next week.
It's something so special, and I can't even put into words that I'm able to get this here now.
While some frontline workers were noticeably excited while receiving their vaccine, others admitted that at one point in time they were skeptical as to whether or not they would get it right away.
At first, I was a little weary about it, as I'm sure most people were, but I did a lot of research. I talked with a lot of my colleagues.
Healthcare workers I spoke with today who got the vaccine say that they hope to be an example to encourage others to do the same. Dr. Doring with Franciscan Health says that he anticipates hundreds of thousands of healthcare workers here in Indiana being able to get vaccinated by the end of the year. Reporting, I'm Sierra Hignite, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
All right, Sierra, thank you. Other local hospitals are beginning their vaccination campaigns. Community Health Network received its first shipment of the vaccine and began the first wave of vaccinations today. The first clinics were at Community Hospital North and Community Hospital Anderson. Community says more than 2,000 workers are already registered for their vaccines, and the network expects to vaccinate 500 to 700 healthcare workers per day.
Meanwhile, Riley Hospital for Children at IU Health also started vaccinating staff today. Among the first recipients were pediatric ICU team members that have been caring for COVID-19 patients, nurses, and emergency department staff.
It looks to be roughly 95% effective at preventing disease, including 100% effective at severe disease, about 95% effective in preventing disease in people who are over 65 across different ethnic backgrounds, racial backgrounds.
And soon we may have a second FDA-authorized vaccine for use in the United States. The vaccine from Moderna was approved by an advisory panel last night in a vote of 20-0. Now the FDA will review the advisory committee's vote and decide whether to authorize the vaccine. If the FDA signs off on the emergency use for Moderna, the CDC will need to greenlight the vaccine before shots can be administered. Moderna says it has 6 million doses ready to ship out.
So the FDA is discussing who will be next in line for the vaccine. A panel of vaccination experts expected to issue a recommendation for their tier 2 of distribution. The panelists are leaning toward putting essential workers first, but haven't yet cleared up who that is. Other experts say people 65 and older should be next since they're dying at the highest rates. The CDC director has said he prioritizes those 70 and up who live with children. Regardless of what they decide, the states will make the final call. Nevada is prioritizing teachers and childcare staff, then public transport workers. Arkansas highlights teachers, prison guards, and police officers. Indiana's plan hasn't been updated since October, but it lists those 65 and older and those with dangerous medical conditions. The panel should vote on their recommendations Sunday. You can find more information about Tier 2 on wishtv.com.
But new models for COVID-19 projects deaths will be even higher than predicted. The University of Washington expects 562,000 Americans will die from COVID-19 by April 1st. That's up significantly from the prediction it made last week. when it forecast 502,000 deaths by that same date. The model from the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation says the increase is due to surges in cases and deaths, with particularly large increases in California. The IHME says the current vaccination rollout could save more than 34,000 lives by April 1st.
Okay, so let's take a look at the numbers here in Indiana. The State Department of Health reporting 6,088 new positive cases, bringing the total number of cases in the state to more than 453,000. The department also reporting 84 new deaths. Those deaths happened between November 21st and December 17th. That means 6,944 people have died in Indiana since the beginning of the pandemic. The health department also saying 3,065 people currently hospitalized. Well, President-elect Joe Biden and incoming First Lady Dr. Jill Biden will receive their first doses of Pfizer's vaccine on Monday. A spokesperson for Biden's transition team says Vice President-elect Kamala Harris and her husband will receive the vaccine the following week. Earlier today, Vice President Mike Pence, his wife, and the Surgeon General all received their vaccinations.